The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Go to the church, though.
Tawali man, what's up?
Man, can you imagine people just dump everywhere? Someone drinks water and throws the bottle wherever.
Come on, Rogers. What else do you expect people to do with an empty bottle?
Simanye na Olukoola. Did you know that plastics take at least 450 years to decompose?
What? That's a long time.
Exactly. Because plastics are made out of a lightweight and flexible material that doesn't decompose easily. And plastics everywhere in the environment cause plastic pollution.
What is plastic pollution now?
It is the accumulation of plastic waste in the environment, like bottles, polythene bags, straws. All of these contribute to plastic pollution.
I have been using them without knowing their effect.
Yeah, a lot of people have. Plastics are a danger to the ecosystem, both on land and in water.
So how can we overcome this problem? Is there something we can do?
Oh yes, we can reduce by minimizing the use of plastics, reuse by repurposing them, or recycle by collecting and processing them into new products.
Everyone wants to change the world, but no one wants to change themselves for the world.
How about we change our habits for the world?
And it starts with me and you.
This message is brought to you by Alternative Digitalk. The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk. The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Go to the church, though.
Tawali man, what's up?
Man, can you imagine people just dump everywhere? Someone drinks water and throws the bottle wherever.
Come on, Rogers. What else do you expect people to do with an empty bottle?
Simanye na Olukoola. Did you know that plastics take at least...
challenge. Are vacant by the court of the High Court of the land. Now this comes after Nambi, who was the NRM candidate, petitioned and the court nullified the entire election, deeming it really not fraudulent in nature. They point out, or the court points out a couple of issues that I'll be sharing with you this morning. My name is Edgar Matthew Karuhanga. I'm streaming live from Lukuli Nanganda along Setenda Lane here at the Digitalk head offices. We welcome you to yet another insightful and interesting episode of the Mighty Drive Show. We're always here every weekday. We start at 8 to 10 a.m. breaking dawn with Uganda, having a conversation that will help you make an informed decision at the end of the day and keep you at bar with everything that is happening in the Pearl of Africa. I have a couple of news stories here, but I'll also be going on in the world of sport on the international scene, telling you some of the things that are happening right there. So what you can do is join the conversation at Digitalk TV, at the Alternative Uganda. That is on Facebook, on YouTube, and on X. Send me your messages. I'll be reading them subsequently as we continue with the program. This morning, I'll be joined by the head of institutions at the National Unity Platform. That is Mr. David Musiri. We paint a conversation on what is happening in that particular realm, but also we look at the East African activism as the East African community. What is hindering this activism, and why are we seeing a couple of recurring incidents, especially that are negative or notorious in the realm of politics of East Africa. It is the same phenomenon in Uganda, the same phenomenon in Kenya, the same as Tanzania. How best or how better can activism be improved in East Africa? That's going to be the topical discussion of the day. So please send me your messages, queries, questions. I'll be reading them subsequently as we continue with the program. Now, we move on to some of the news stories that are making rounds right here. As I informed you earlier on, yesterday, court confirmed that Councillor Nalukoola's victory in the Kawempe North election has been nullified. Now, this comes on grounds that the court really highlighted for the entire populace to see. In this particular court ruling, the judge Bernard confirmed that first of all, Councillor Nalukoola carried out what you call campaigns or elections on the voting day. This is not allowed by the constitution. Then also, Bernard points out, or the judge points out, that there was a challenge, especially in the camp of Nambi, who is the NRM flag bearer, and says that this lady was not able to vote. That is the first thing, but also that another 16,000 were defranchised and were not able to vote for their rightful leader. Then also, they also point out a point of 14 polling stations that are located in Kawempe North that were not able to vote or carry out their elections. Now, these are the grounds that Judge Bernard Namanya pointed on, or really stood on, to just nullify this election. Now, according to the Electoral Commission of Uganda, through its Electoral Commission boss, that is Judge Justice Byabakama, they will not be appealing this decision that was made by the court of the land. Now, that means that as court ordered, we shall be seeing an election carried out in Kawempe as soon as possible. Now, still in this particular regard, the rhetoric is the constitution of the land does not allow a by-election prior or 6 months to the general election, which in this case, when you look at it very well, it's 6 months to the general elections that will be carried out in January next year. Now, will the Electoral Commission be able to do this? And also, the National Unity Platform, through their Secretary General, and also Councillor Nalukoola, confirmed that they will be appealing the court decision. And I've got information from relevant sources that the Court of Appeal can take up to 90 days, that is 3 months, to be heard by the judge. So, in these 3 months, if justice has not yet been dispensed, in fact, how does that really affect the ultimate position or the ultimate verdict that will be given by the court? Now, this is something that is raising eyebrows. We'll be asking some of the lawyers that we have here at Digitalk TV to paint a picture for us what this means, especially to the people who, to the Electoral Commission that is mandated to carry out this free and fair election. Now, it's just 18 minutes past the top of the hour. You're still watching The Mighty Drive. My name is Edgar Matthew Karuhanga, and we're coming live from Lukuli right here in Nanganda in Makindye Division. So that is what is happening, especially in the realm of Councillor Nalukoola. But as I've informed you, the Secretary General of National Unity Platform, that is David Lewis Rubongoya, will be appealing this decision to the Court of Appeal to see how it will be challenged. Then also, there is also another irregularity of what it means to vote, because according to some of the evidence or the footage that we had on the voting day in Kawempe North, Miss Farida Nambi was able to cast a ballot, or we saw her, reach out to the polling station and cast a ballot. But then, according to Judge Bernard Namanya, this is not actually voting. So what tantamounts to voting? That is the question that we're asking ourselves. Is casting a ballot the same thing as voting? Or in case there's a bit of confusion at the polling center, if I've casted my ballot, that means I did not vote in the grand scheme of things. We want to understand what that means, because it has painted a rather bizarre picture or unclear picture for us as the media. Thank you so much for tuning in. You are still watching Digitalk TV. My name is Edgar Matthew Karuhanga. Then we shall move on to President Museveni and the First Lady, that is Janet, in a prayer session that was held on Sunday by their daughter, Pastor Patience Wabogo. these two, through a prayer, apologized to the country. Now, in a prayer that was made by both the president and the wife, that is Janet Museveni, at Kololo Independence Grounds, these two reiterated the need for forgiveness from their Lord over some of the issues that have not been working right in their political party. They, first of all, acknowledge that, yes, there are some challenges that have been happening in Uganda, especially in Buganda region, and they apologized for these particular challenges. In fact, they bore the burden of anybody who had, taken part, who had, negatively affected Uganda, and they say, according to, on behalf of their agents, on behalf of their supporters, and on behalf of the government that they serve or lead, they apologize to the Lord. Now, this apology, or this repentance rather, various people have taken it in various ways. Some say this is not a genuine repentance or apology because, according to some sources, the best apology, and this is Dr. Sarah Birete who mentioned it, the best apology would be a change of heart. And if President Museveni said that he was not going to compete in the general election and says he's going to rest in Rwakatura with his family, that would be rather a better apology according to that particular lady. So many people are saying this. In fact, even Kyagulanyi Robert Sentamu also reiterated on that particular matter, trying to bottle down the repentance of the president. But yes, it was what the president did, and it's often something seldom that the president is repentant, and especially to Uganda. This is very, very rare that the president can come out to say apologies and I'm sorry. So yeah, it was something that was unique and different on that particular day. You're still watching Digital TV. You're continuing with the mighty global news updates. As I told you, I have Mr. David Musiri, who is the head of institutions at the National Unity Platform, and also wants to compete to take the leadership of Makindye West constituency. He's going to be standing for MP of this particular constituency. I'll also be talking about that. Then lastly, I'll just finish up in the world of sport, because as we speak right about now, we're going to be seeing the Champions League, or we're going to be watching the Champions League this particular weekend, as Inter Milan will be tussling it out with Paris Saint-Germain, PSG. Now, this is going to be a phenomenon on 1 in a million finals that we've not seen in a while, because PSG is looking out to be able to, confirm their treble. They want to win a treble after already winning the French league, and of course, one of the French Coppa Italia, French trophies or French tournaments that are also, held there. So if they win the Champions League, they will be able to claim a treble, and it will be the second time that Luis Enrique, their manager, will be doing that. Remember, in 2015, Luis Enrique, with the company of Lionel Messi, Luis Suarez, and Neymar, was able to go and win himself a treble. That is back in 2015, and that was the last Champions League that Barcelona was able to claim for themselves. So up to today, 10 years down the road, there hasn't been a Champions League that has been won by Barcelona. But Luis Enrique is back at the finals of the UEFA Champions League. Then still in the world of sport, there are different managers that are signing with different clubs. As we speak right now, Xabi Alonso has been confirmed as the new manager for Real Madrid, the Galacticos. Now, Xabi Alonso was a player at Real Madrid, and he was able to make history. He won La Liga with them. He won the Champions League with them. He won the Champions League with Liverpool as well. So Xabi Alonso is a legend, and one of the new phenomenons of Xabi Alonso is the treble that he was about to win. In fact, he actually won. He was going to win the quadruple after winning 3 titles with Bayer Leverkusen last season. Now, he was only beaten 1 game. He had an undefeated league win, but also he was about to have a full season unbeaten with Bayer Leverkusen, something that you don't find every day. This gentleman was beaten on the last day. That is when he was playing Atalanta in the final. Ademola Lookman came out and was big in that final after scoring a hat-trick and giving or handing Xabi Alonso his first ever lose of the season. So that means last season, Xabi Alonso went the entire season only losing 1 game. that is not something that you find every day. So congratulations to Xabi Alonso, who will be taking leadership at the Real Madrid. And of course, he, in his opening remarks, he talked about Kylian Mbappe, he talked about Vinicius Jr., and says these are very, very good players, and he already has a plan for them. Then also Bayer Leverkusen has signed Erik ten Hag. Erik ten Hag is the Manchester United flop. He was just recently, one would say, sacked from the leadership of Manchester United, and Ruben Amorim was appointed then. Now Erik ten Hag is enjoying his life at Bayer Leverkusen after he signed a new deal to be leading that particular club. So maybe I'll just stop there, just 26 minutes past the top of the hour. You are watching the Mighty Drive Show. It's now time I take a short commercial break. When I come back, I'll be joined by Mr. David Musiri. We'll be having a conversation about National Unity Platform, East Africa, and the world at large. My name is Edgar Matthew Karuhanga. The Mighty Drive Show continues.